John Schneider will be interviewing on Saturday an offensive coordinator whose team plays on Sunday. That same coordinator has an interview with the Chargers on Saturday and 2 today with the Panthers and the Commanders. Peter, this is the spot in the program. Well, I will shut up and let you share your thoughts on the wisdom and practicality of a rule that allows Ben Johnson, as he's getting ready for the game of his life on Sunday, Buccaneers at Lions, to have 4 interviews over the course of the next 2 days.
It's not only him, it's Aaron Glenn. He's got several. I read in the Detroit News that he had 4 as well. But Mike, here's the reason why I so totally object to this. And I realize it's not the fairest thing for the coaches involved, because my proposal would be that no coach be allowed to interview virtually or in person until his team is finished with the playoffs. There's a very simple reason why. You preach to your players all year. You preach to your players all the time that it's about the team. It's about the team. It's about the team. And what happens before your biggest game that you've ever coached? It's about me. I don't blame Ben Johnson. I don't blame Aaron Glenn. I don't blame any of these coaches. This is the way the system is set up. I would do the same thing because this is the way the game is played. So you got to play that. You got to play the game the way it's played. But last year, Mike, I don't know if you remember, in this exact week, the Dallas Cowboys played a Monday night game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and won. And their reward, they flew back, got home at 5 o'clock in the morning in Dallas from that game, whatever time it was. And then their reward is they then have to fly to the West Coast to play the 49ers the next weekend. Dan Quinn on Friday evening, I think it was in person, but I can't swear to it. It might have been virtual. But he spent hours in an interview with Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay about the Indianapolis Colts coaching job. And I just thought, okay, well, the Colts are doing what they have to do. They're taking care of their franchise. Everyone does the logical thing. You know, the Colts, obviously, they want to interview the best coaches, so they're going to try to do it. But for Dan Quinn, in a week like that, a short week anyway, with one East Coast game on Monday and a West Coast game on Sunday, how on God's green earth does he have the time, even if it's only, and okay, he can squeeze it in at 8 o'clock at night. Should be sleeping, or he should be whatever. It's a huge mistake, and it does a gigantic disservice to the teams that they have worked for and they have worked hard for to make sure that they can go as far as they can in the playoffs. I don't like it. Nobody can defend it. Nobody. If people will say, oh, that's all right, they're off anyway. You thinking, we've talked about this before, Mike. What do you think Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are doing if they've got 10 free minutes during the course of the week? They're calling Coach X of the Jaguars, hey, you interested in being on my staff? Because when he interviews, and I mean, a lot of that is done already, I get it. But there are some calls that you're going to have to make, because when you interview with these teams, you know what they ask you? So, Ben Johnson, who's going to be your defensive coordinator? What kind of defense are you going to run? Who's going to be on your offensive staff? Who's going to be this? He's got to spill the names. And so the whole thing is distasteful, and the NFL should quash it immediately.
Every waking moment in those weeks before playoff games should be devoted to getting yourself ready, your offense or your defense ready for the game. And every minute you spend in an interview is one less minute that you have to get your team ready. And when you go home at the end of that long day of preparing your team and your spouse or significant other says, how was your day? The first topic isn't going to be, what are you doing in your 2-minute offense for this game coming up. It's, have you heard anything about that job? Understandably, because that's your professional ship coming in. Your ship is coming in before you're really ready to get your stuff and jump on it. All right, we got to take a break. When we return, is Bill Belichick's ship coming in Atlanta? Not that there's a port there. Is there even a river there? I've got to go do some geography research during the break. More PFT Live right after this. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.